Okay, we've gotten the prologue out of the way. Let's do our first raid. First of all, we do have, and I'm gonna stop apologizing for this. Is gonna be a chill series. I'm not gonna be like, rushing to jump into the action. It's gonna be a little bit chill, and I know that's not for everyone. So I'm gonna explain it now, and I'm gonna stop apologizing for it. That's just the way it's gonna be. But we are through the prologue of our new Tarkov series, a beginner giving you a guide. I need to rename it. It's not a beginner's guide. It's a guide by a beginner. That's what I need to rename it. I'll work on that. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is, the cases that we talked about in the last time. I am going to load these up real quick. These splints and bandages and healing things can all go in the med case until we fill it up. All right. I didn't notice it came with this helmet. And then that's our money case. I think I'm going to swing this over here. I want to end up with the cases up top, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time right now trying to get that to happen. We don't have a lot of items. Eventually, we're going to have tons of items. In fact, we're going to probably purchase a scavenger case to put even more items. This is not going to last us very long unless we just sell all of our items pretty quickly. Okay, I think for now we're good. I'm not going to sell anything yet, although some of this we will sell. Like these, we're not going to worry about these weapon attachments for now. And we have so much space. I don't really feel a need to load up the pistol case just yet. So our inventory will start to take form as we start to get stuff and make decisions. I do want to go ahead and turn in that kit that the therapist wants. I don't want to accidentally use that. We got to find 5 of these. Now we may end up just purchasing them. But for the meantime, we'll be looking for them. I know of at least one spot on customs where they can spawn, so we'll keep an eye on those. But I have gone through and discovered all of the items in here. I did not do it with fence. I mean, you could endlessly find new items you haven't discovered, but part of the fun is when we're out there in the raid finding some new stuff. So I think we're good. We're going to actually go in pretty bare, and this is what I would probably recommend for someone who's actually going into their first raid, just to kind of get your feet wet. You might even do a scav run, although when you first log in, I think your scav run is on cooldown. Like you can't do it for 20 minutes. So, I mean, at this point we could, but I'm not going to start this series on a scav run. And I'll be honest with you, it took me a ton of runs before I had my first successful extract as my player. So I have no doubt that we're going to die here loading in as just a pistol. I'm just not that good. There certainly are people you could watch, some really high-level streamers and YouTube creators that could go into customs with a pistol and stand a really good chance of making it out. Now, early on, to me, the best advice that I've heard people give is just try to stay away from other players. Early on, you want to be fighting the scavengers, the AI-controlled scavengers, and occasionally the player-controlled scavengers. That's your goal as you're working on these early tasks. And one way you can do that is you can run raids at night. Now, it's not a great visual for me to be running raids at night. We may occasionally do it if we get stuck on a quest, but I'll try to get night vision goggles figured out on how to install those on a helmet. I don't know if this one takes them or not. I don't think it does. You can add gear to it, but I don't think you can add night vision. I'll have to play with that, figure out the easiest way. We may not be able to do that till we hit level 5 and can use the flea market. I'm not sure. Okay, I think we're good. We're just going to start with a 15. With a pistol. This is the P226R 9x19 pistol. And we're going to take a couple extra magazines. It's a SIG SAR. SAR? Standard service weapon of Navy SEALs. So what I have in my gamma container in the pouch, again, this is the slot where anything you keep in here, you won't lose. So if we find stuff that we want to keep, we might throw it in our gamma container. We'll be able to take it out even if we die or when we die. And what I've got in here is healing, which honestly, because we don't have armor, we will probably die so fast that we don't need more healing. But just in case, let's do that. And the other thing that I definitely recommend you take in there are painkillers. Oh, this is something we ought to talk about. And we'll just look at the therapist's exchanges first. But every trader has barter items. So you can actually barter things you find in the raid. You can actually barter for them. So like take these Salewa kits we need. If we find a raid can, which I don't know that I've ever found one of those in a raid. I think you can craft them eventually in your... Anyway, if we find one of those, we can trade one of those straight up for that. We can get a car healing pack for 2 duct tapes. And those are things you'll find pretty regularly. Painkillers. 2 matches will give us a pack of painkillers. We want to be saving matches, especially early on. But for now, we actually can purchase one. It costs just under 4,000 rubles. But believe me, it's worth it. And what we're going to go ahead and do is throw that into our pouch. Now, I think we'll probably die so fast that, because we don't have armor, so we're not going to have much to heal, that won't be necessary. But, oh, let me go back and just tell you what I'm doing here since the first time we're running into a raid. So instead of Scavenger, I've chosen PMC, which is our main character. I hit Next. Choosing Customs Map. You can always go daytime or nighttime, although sometimes it's right on the fence, and both of them might be like neither fully light or fully dark. But right now we've got 11:38 in the morning. Then hit Next again. We don't have the map, but that's fine. We've got it pulled up on our other monitor. It says, okay, so this is another option you have, and I didn't do this much, although it would have probably helped give me some confidence early on. You can enable an offline mode raid. That means other people won't log in there or won't spawn into your raid, and you also won't lose any of your stuff. You're not really gambling. And even when you do that, you can select whether or not you want the PvE, so the scavengers to come in, the AI controlled people, or if you just want to run around and get to know the map. So that's another way, if you want to ease into it, you can do that. But we're going to skip right into dying. Insurance. I'm going to say that it's worth insuring. Definitely once you get a loadout that you're comfortable with and it's like a certain gun you're using, a lot of times people are not going to take your stuff. They're going to get killed. If your stuff is left in the raid and you have it insured, then you're going to get it back. If you don't have it insured, then once you die, it's gone no matter what. So we're going to insure the pistol, and we're going to insure the commando rig, which will also insure the magazines. I'm a little more iffy on the commando rig, if I'm being honest with you. How much? So 1,524 rubles for just the pistol. We add a big chunk more to insure the commando rig. But to be honest, the commando rig it's probably worth a lot more than that. The insurance is always like a fraction of what the item actually cost. So I'm going to say go ahead and insure. I'm going to try to lead by a good example here and go ahead and insure it all. Now, it's going to take 2 full days, like 48 hours, until we get that back from Praper. But it's worth doing because it's entirely possible people are not going to take our stuff. So now I'm going to hit ready up, and we start what can sometimes be a little bit of a long process of loading into the game. So let me talk a little bit about this map we're going into. Oftentimes, when you're playing your main player, you're going to either spawn in on the eastern side of the map somewhere, could be up north a little bit, could be down southeast, or on the western side of the map. Different areas, again, that it could be. Just make sure we're not missing anything. And you're probably going to have to extract on the other side of the map. So every time we run this, I'll try to bring this up and talk about specific areas, maybe a place that we saw in the last raid, or maybe after we die, I'll talk about a certain place. But get real familiar with this map, and like I said, it's always helpful to have that up while you're actually playing. I definitely recommend that. The scav boss can definitely, it's not every time, but sometimes the scav boss can spawn in at the gas station. if he's there, we want no part of him. You want to have a lot of good armor and some much more destructive weaponry than what we have to go against him and his little minions. But the gas station is a really interesting place, high risk, high reward place in terms of running into other players and scavs. So that's something that you'll see as we make runs. We'll definitely be around the gas station some. And same with the military checkpoint down here, which is just to the right of the gas station. These two spots are really interesting when you're on this side of the map. There is a wall around these areas, so figuring out how you can get in and out of different spots in these two areas where all of the container and storage building, the silos, all that on the southeast part of the map, that area is kind of significant. A hot zone on Customs map is the dorms. A lot of missions will end up sending us there. It's also where a ton of different loot spawns are. And so if you're going to have high-level players in your match, it's likely that they're going to end up going to dorms, or a lot of times they will. So as a brand new player, a lot of times you're going to want to stay pretty far away from dorms unless you just are feeling especially confident. Or if you're patient and you wait towards the end of the raid when other people have left, you might be able to go up there and still find some decent loot. This sort of new construction area here in the middle, not quite as much going on. There are a few missions here, and sometimes we will come in to the sort of main part of the map through this spot. I'll show you according to where we spawn. We may end up doing that today. It's basically either coming across the south bridge down here and through here, or on the north side going across the main bridge or junk bridge. And then you're kind of on the main part of the map. This customs building here is also a very hot spot. You need a couple of keys, but or one key, but there's a room upstairs in the customs warehouse that has a safe you can get money out of and some other loot spots, as well as some quest objectives. So if you want to sort of hit the ground running early in your raid and you spawn over there, you can run over there, try to grab some loot. You probably run into a player or two, and then also scavs will be spawning in. So those are some of my initial thoughts on customs. All right, so here we are. And we have actually spawned in here in the storage area. Scavs probably won't be here yet. Okay, so if you hit O twice, you can find out where your extraction point is. ZB1011, and that's way over on the southeast part of the map. So we're a long way from there. There are some lootable things here, and scavs will come here eventually. So this may just be our test. See if we can find some early loot. And then also see if our pistol will even hold up against a scav. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. I believe that was another player, fully geared. And that is how Escape from Tarkov goes. I want to I want to show, so one way you know if you were killed by another player is if it's usually it's a one-word name. This was Yeehaw. And if it's a scav that may be controlled by AI or possibly could be controlled by an actual player, it'll be 2 words. So they'll have a first and a last name. This is the reality of Escape from Tarkov. So I'm okay that happened on our very first episode. Now the question is, do we heal and go right back in again? Or do we maybe do a quick scav run? All right, so let me show you where we were. We were over here in the storage area, which is a cool place to be. I just wasn't expecting another player to spawn in so close to us. And he may have been like back behind storage and then sprinted in. I didn't hear him though. So it felt like he kind of just spawned in. I think that's what happened. But anyway, the nice thing about storage is there are a few loot spots, but more importantly, you sort of get a steady stream of scavs. And because you have so much cover and stuff in those in those bins, it doesn't feel hopeless against the scavs at that point. So that's not a terrible place to be. So the message we got is Praper telling us that he sent somebody in to look for our things. So we'll see, you know, a couple days from now, a few videos from now, probably we'll see if we actually get any of that back. So between runs, you see our health is way down. And you either have to wait for that to go back up, or you have to dip into your resources and heal yourself. And for now, I'll probably just use the Grizzly Medical Kit to heal us between runs. But let's do a quick scav run. So speaking of, well, we probably should do custom so I can show you more instead of... In the future, what I think I want to do with scav runs is actually... and we'll do customs in the daytime. Scav runs in the future, I think I'm going to early on focus a lot of factory. Because if you... To me, a good way to break up the sort of slow pace of customs, or of most of the maps, especially on scav runs, is just to load into factory. And I'll have to show you that later, but especially if you load in halfway through the raid, you actually stand a reasonable chance, especially at an early level, to get some really nice loot. There's a lot of bodies that'll be around factory that you can loot. There's usually not many players left at that point, and if you're patient, you can sometimes you can just get lucky and have some good quick runs. Okay. Again, loading in with a pistol. It's going to be a difficult start. But it'll be interesting to see. As a scav, you can load in at the beginning of the raid, or sometimes you load in halfway through it. So this is fairly early. And from the looks of things, we're at Old Gas Station, and we're trying to go to military base. Is where we want to end up going. Okay, so let's go check a couple things. Let me show you. First of all, this quest we have, one of our tasks is to get the healing, those red healing items. And back behind Old Gas Station here, there is a potential spot for them. We did not get lucky this time, however. And let me look at something real quick. Just wanted to show you real fast where we are on the map. So we're down here at Old Gas Station. So we're going to be connecting to this area. We actually just need to go to military checkpoint. So we don't have that far to go, but we're going to go by a lot of potential hotspots in getting there. Alright, let's look around a little bit here before we go charging out. I at least want to show you a couple of loot places before we die this time. Alright, so let's go in here. And so here at Old Gas Station, a lot of times when you hear that gunfire, a lot of times it's confusing because it sounds like it's real close, but it's probably not that close in actuality. So a lot of times there's stuff spawned on these countertops. It looks like there's not this time. I don't know if there's other good loot spots in this room. I usually just see stuff on the counters. Maybe I've seen stuff on the floor before. I'm not sure. Eventually we'll get a quest to come put something on that tanker right there, but that's a ways away. There's one more spot. There's so many loot spots in this game, and even on this map customs, that if you've been playing the game a lot, you probably will know about loot spots that I'm going to walk right by. I mean, it's like the longer I play, the more I just find different loot spots, and then that sort of goes into your repertoire of places you check when you have time or feel like doing that. So we're going to sort of play aggressive here since this is a scav run, and just try to get to our checkpoint and hope that we have a better run on our main character next time. At least a little bit more excitement. That was just an unfortunate spawn. And the sad part is I had a really reasonable shot there. I could have lined up a headshot, and man, that would have been a heck of a way to start the series, because he had a lot of gear on him, it appeared. So scavs can spawn in this area, but we are a scav, so the AI controlled scavengers are not going to be aggressive towards us unless we start shooting them. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the AI-controlled scavs on the whole map will be aggressive towards us. I mean, a lot of times it is strategically sound to kill a scav to take their stuff. But if it's a certain radius, it seems like, you know, on that part of the map where you are right there, if there's any scavs nearby, they'll be alerted and they'll attack you. But if you get far enough away from the incident, other scavs may be friendly again. At least that's what it has seemed to me. So we came in sort of, I think we came in at what, 37, 38 minutes, something like that. So PMCs in the match, real player characters, would have probably already sort of started moving towards whatever their objective is that they're trying to do this match. We may not run into them. And again, I think we're going to go right down to military checkpoint. There is, I think that's a scav. The nice thing about that scav spawn is he may be far enough away from other scavs that we can get away with just trying to take his loot. I can tell from the way he's walking that that is a scav. Hope I'm not wrong. Yeah. So again, oh, there's another scav. So this plan just got bad. But we're going to do it anyway. Ah, too bad he had a pistol. And we're already getting shot. It sounds like he has... Whoa, 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 whoa! Where is he? Oh, there he is. We ought to get into cover here. I'm not exactly sure where he went, but I need to see what the extent of our injuries are. Not that there's a whole lot we can do about it. Let's reload here. So what we didn't put on was his tactical rig. That's what I was really trying to get. He had a pretty nice tactical rig on. Man, am I this bad? It's our last mag. He threw a grenade, by the way. Oh, goodness. What in the world just happened? Yeah, we're in rough shape in terms of our health. Yeah, just shotguns. But MP-133, isn't that the shotgun we need to turn in? I think it is. So let's see if we can go get that rig over here. And how much ammo do we have left? Oh, it's full. Okay. Goodness, this has been brutal. I can't even see. All those healing supplies that we brought in on our Gamma, on our main character, that's what would save us right now. So we wanted to attach. Oh, we can't attach it. So this is what I was talking about. You have to discover it before you can attach stuff. Oh, he also has a backpack I haven't searched. Alright, this looks like apple juice or something. Let's go ahead and use that while we're... Alright, we'll take all this and let's just see if we can survive here. The spot we're going to is military checkpoint, which is really just right around the corner here, but a lot of things could happen between now and then. Trying to decide if we actually do a little looting here. How's my health? I mean, it's not the best. So I'm checking the other, okay, this shotgun is empty. I think we'd rather use this one anyway. We have some ammo that we should be able to reload. At this point, we're probably just going to have to make shotgun work. Screws. And then we should be able to grab this unknown item. Alright, now the goal is just to play it as safe as possible and see if we can possibly escape. It's hard to even see right now because of our injuries. We basically just want to get to the end of this road. When we get a little closer, I'll probably start running. But I don't want to make everyone on this side of the map aware of our existence until we're pretty close. The reason why I switched back to pistol is because I'm realizing that if someone comes at us, unless they're really close, especially with that, with the pellet, the buckshot shells with the shotgun, we're going to be in trouble. It's not going to really help. Alright, this is our extraction for military base CP. You see the countdown is happening. I don't know how we made it through there, but we did. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Evidence of you don't have to be that good at the game to still have fun and still progress. Because we had some terrible shots there. We missed a lot of shots. Obviously on our main player run, we just died immediately. But that actually ended up turning out to be a pretty decent scav run. So, let's just... let's see what we want to do. Okay, first of all, here's our item case. So let's just start throwing items. They're going to have the blue background, sometimes purple background, into the item case. Because for now, let's unload that ammo. Alright, there's a more expensive version of the M855 that has better penetration. But for now, this isn't that bad. Although I don't think we have a gun that actually uses it. So let's for now, we're going to sell a lot of stuff. I'm going to try to get in the habit of selling stuff that we're not going to use. Because if not, your inventory will become completely unwieldy. Now, we will use grenades. I want to get in the habit of trying to use those more often. Our inventory has not come into fashion yet. I'm going to sell this pistol. I think this is actually a good pistol. If I'm not mistaken. TT-105. Is that one of the ones that we started with? No, it's different than those. We may not have any magazines for it, but I think for now I'm going to keep it. We'll put it in here. This obviously looks like a pretty nice pistol because it's all decked out, right? And I don't know. I don't know that I would say we did well with it, but it did its thing. So let's keep the magazines with that. And I guess these magazines go with that one. So let's stack these up in a way that I'll remember what goes with what. So we're going to keep that because those are some pistols that if we continue to do pistol runs, those are actually going to be okay. All right. Now, these knives we get, you're going to get a ton of knives if you choose to. You may choose to not loot them based on how much stuff you have in your inventory. You can also trade stuff, masks for stuff, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. But these knives, both the brown-handled and the black-handled knives, trade for guns. One's for the MP5 and one's for one of the pistols. I don't remember which. All this other stuff that we picked up, defuel, I think that's actually a pretty nice... I think that actually sells for a decent amount. We may want to sell that. Let's see. We'll go ahead and stack backpacks. And as we start getting backpacks like that, I'm going to feel a lot more confident or comfortable in taking them out on our runs. I guess especially when we start using pistols. So we got this helmet, which does provide a little bit of armor protection. Now the shotgun, I think we need for trading in. I'm going to put it down here in case that's not the right one to trade in. And there's another knife. All right. So there's our first two raids, a player raid and a scav raid. The scav raid obviously went a little better than the player raid. But again, the game's all about risk reward. Like, we could have not shot at those scavs, right? Not started a fight with them, and it would have been a very easy run. We could have gotten a little bit of loot and just left. However, we increased the risk and increased the reward a little bit, and we were able to get out of there with a few things. All right, so now to turn task items in, this is where we're going to see if it actually works. Yep, so if you go to the person who gave you the task, this turn in button will show up when you actually have the item that they need. So we're now 1 out of 2. You notice we did kill some scavs, but we didn't kill them as our main player. That's why we didn't get credit. I really look forward to our next episode where I can try a real player run again. That was very frustrating. Okay, so this gun isn't the best gun to use as an example, but one thing if you want to get all the money you can, one thing you want to get in the habit of doing is actually dismantling the gun. So I right-clicked on it and clicked inspect. That brings up this menu. And then we're just going to take the parts out of it. And the reason why I do that is because it sells for a little more broken down than it would together. At least that's my understanding. I guess we could have tested it, but... So now we're going to go to the traders and sell. Like I mentioned to you before, anything that Ragman will buy, I would suggest selling it to him until you get him leveled up. We're just going to hold control and left click on these items. There's 8,000 rubles. So you can see we're already making money. Go to mechanic. We're going to sell the actual weapon core, the red thing that doesn't have any of the other parts. And this is, what do they even call this now? So it's still the bolt action shotgun. It just doesn't have any of the mods on it. So we're going to sell that for 2,000 rubles. And we'll go to Skier and see if he buys any of these weapon parts. He purchases one of them. And we're also going to get rid of these. So that's, oh, that's expensive. Man, look how much these are. We won't sell them right now because that makes it look like we had a really good run. And then who else? I don't think we have anything to sell to Therapist. That we're keeping everything that she would purchase. So all this other stuff we're going to sell to Prapor for 4,300 rubles. And then I think Mechanic will actually purchase this pistol. We could have broken it down too, but we'll just sell it. So now if we go back to character, we'll see the rubles we made. 18,000 rubles. So we'll drop that down to our money case here. Stack it. So we made 18,000. So again, just on a scav run, we made a lot of rubles. And you'll have, much better scav runs than that. Obviously, as a scav, will die a lot too. But that just kind of shows you how quickly you can start to build up your resources without any risk. Because again, that was a scav run. Okay, so that's going to be our first episode. I have no shame in showing you how easily I die in this game. If nothing else, it prepares you for it's just a reality. Everyone dies in this game. Some people just die a lot less or more than others. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series. Please let me know if you are, or if you have questions or comments. And if you're not enjoying it, I know there's a lot of other really good Tarkov content out there. If this one isn't for you, I totally get it. But as always, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching.